Hi guys, welcome back to episode of DB Cars, and today's episode I'll be showing you guys GetGo first generation BYD E6. So let's dive straight to this video right now. Alright then, so here is guys the BYD E6 from GetGo itself. So basically I'll be running through you guys the damages for this vehicle that's any before I show you guys the interior as well as the trunk space. But first off, let me just show you guys the vehicle itself, starting with the front, and at the same time also give you guys a brief introduction to the vehicle itself. But starting from the front, there's no obvious damage from the vehicle as a whole I can see, so that's a good thing. Moving to the driver's side, there's also no obvious damage from the vehicle other than the usual wheels curve or basically it being very dirty itself. So yeah, that's a plus point. Okay, last but not least, moving to the back, no obvious damage, which is a good thing for this vehicle. Then lastly, the side, no obvious damage to the vehicle either itself, which is a plus point for this itself. If you're wondering where the charging thing is, it's right at the back on the left hand side. To access it, just lift this up and you're able to charge the vehicle itself. Unfortunately, this vehicle does not really support DC charging itself, because this is technically a very early BYD car, or the first BYD car that BYD produced. So at that time, there's no such thing as DC charging, only AC charging. So hence you only get that AC charging port right there itself. So yeah, okay, about the vehicle itself. So basically this vehicle was BYD actually launched this car around late 2000, around 2009, but we don't really get it until mid 2010, close to late, like mid 2010, around like 2017, when for me the first time I saw this vehicle here in Singapore is basically when, if I'm not wrong, Uber actually brought this in, and it's part of their fleet, and I think eventually Uber closed down and this moved on to different owners. But I think GetGo does have this in their fleet for a short time before. I don't know why they decided to remove the vehicle itself. But luckily now they decided to bring back in. So I think at the moment there's only 2 or 3 of this in the fleet. There's not really much of this first generation E6 in GetGo fleet. Most of the E6 that GetGo has in their fleet is basically the second generation pre-facelift 5-seater variant. Technically there's already a 7-seater variant for the vehicle, but at the moment GetGo didn't really acquire them itself. But based on the Facebook group I'm in, there's apparently off topic wise, not relating to the E6, there's apparently for the BYD Auto 3, there's a long range version itself compared to the normal, I think, short range or conventional range itself. But that is another story for another day itself. So yeah, but let me just show you guys the trunk space for the vehicle right now itself. So to access it, just grab hold, the trunk release button is right down below the BYD emblem. Just grab hold on that and just lift it up, and you should be able to access the trunk space itself. And this is how it looks like. Unfortunately, one thing you gotta take note for this vehicle is, since it is quite raised up, because the battery are right beneath it itself, the right height of the vehicle also is slightly higher itself. So if you have heavy item, you definitely have to lift this quite high up and put it on the vehicle itself, which would be quite troublesome itself in my opinion. But if I could find it, I'll probably put on screen right now how much trunk space this vehicle has as well. If you're asking whether you could expand the storage space for the vehicle itself, I want to say I don't think you're able to do it, but at the same time, if there's a will, there's a way itself. So yeah, if can't, then it sucks itself. But so far, looking from the looks of it, I doubt you can do that itself. So it's a downside to this vehicle itself. But once done, you can just grab hold on this and just close it down itself. Unfortunately, for another thing for this vehicle is it doesn't really have a key. But if GetGo were to provide a key for the vehicle itself, I think you're able to lock the trunk via pressing this button at the back, and at the side, if let's say you unlock the doors itself, same goes for the other side as well itself. So yeah, other than that, let me just show you guys the rear of the car right now. Alright then, now let me just show you guys the rear of the E6 vehicle. So stepping right into the vehicle itself, you do notice one thing is once you're inside the vehicle, this is firstly this is how it looked like once you're in the rear of the E6 itself. You do notice that you're sitting quite high up itself. From the first from my point of view, I do notice that you're sitting quite high itself. Then also technically this is their BYD first vehicle itself, so hence weirdly enough there's a huge ass transmission tunnel hump right here itself, even though EV does not really have a transmission. That is just basically a battery and the motor and the battery, that's what I say. But how do I feel like to sit in the rear? Well, speaking of legroom space, I got about I would say about 1.5 feet of legroom space size. Headroom space size also not too bad. I got about the same yeah, about 1.5 room, 1.5 piece of headroom space size, which is not too bad either for the vehicle itself. In the rear, so you also do get some storage pocket right here if you want to put your stuff. Same goes for the other side. Then also right here, you also do get a small, decent sized storage space right here if you want to put your stuff itself. So yeah. Moving along, you also got window switches to wind down the window if you want to. Grab handle right here and on all three sides of the vehicle. So that's a good thing. Plus, I think they know that this vehicle is quite high up itself, so hence they also include a grab handle right here for elderly people. If let's say that for elderly people getting into the vehicle, they can just grab hold into that rather than, I don't know where they grab hold, but yeah, it's quite a good thing, which is on both sides of the vehicle itself. So yeah. Last but not least, you just got a 12-volt socket outlet right there if you want to plug your stuff in. But firstly, this probably will have to be shared, because if let's say you're using your phone and you want to charge your phone in the back, you have to probably share with this 12-volt socket outlet right here with the people beside you itself. One downside this vehicle doesn't really have is center armrest itself. In my opinion, if this has a center armrest, it'll be so much better itself, because if let's say there's no one sitting in the center, this could actually be folded down and you could probably rest your arm on. Plus at the same time, like some other cars, you could actually put your drink in the center, which is quite good. And technically this would be very good for a taxi itself, in my opinion. But other than that, let me just show you how does it feel like to sit in the center. One thing you gotta note is that I already mentioned at the start is this is a very big ass transmission tunnel, but I think they think of it itself, because you can't be sitting like this, because it's a very weird sitting position over a long distance period of time, unless you were to be like slouching, then okay, not that bad. But anything you could actually just put your legs on this and carry 3 full-grown size adults in the rear itself, which in my opinion, in short journey wise is okay, because it's just short journey and it'll be over. But on long journey wise, you can just imagine this is how it feels like if someone were to be sitting in center itself. And on long journeys, I can bet this is very uncomfortable itself, because you do not want to be sitting in this type of position for a very long time. You would rather be sitting down like a normal sitting position itself, rather than almost like close to squatting down on the center of the seat itself. So yeah. Alright, before I show you guys the front, let me just show you guys some of the other features in this vehicle itself. Weirdly enough, you also got a reading light right here, which can be turned on either side by pressing this or that. And or you want both, you can just press on this and both will turn on and both will turn off also. Let me see whether this does. Okay, that's smart. Seems like if let's say this is smart. One thing to note for this vehicle is on conventional car, when you open either the front doors or the back doors, the center lighting itself would turn on immediately for all 4. It will just basically turn on itself. But for this E6 itself, I think I will show you later on, but for the front, there's also this dedicated light function where if you press on door, only if you press on door, the rear doors, when they are open, the rear light will on. If the front doors are open, the front light will on itself. So basically right now let me just show you guys that and I also repeat again for the front itself. So basically you have to press that is on, but the front is not on at all. So that's a very unique selling point for this vehicle itself. So yeah, but other than that, I think that's basically it for this vehicle itself. Unfortunately, you don't get a reclining function for the vehicle. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm right. I was right. Unfortunately, you can't really recline the seat for in the E6 itself, which is a downside. If you could, I think it'd be so much better itself, because the sitting position you're sitting at is almost like a slouching, but it's like a leaning back. It's almost close to like laying down itself. But yeah, let me just cut the crap and let me just show you guys the front of the vehicle right now. Alright then, so here is guys, this is how the dashboard looks like for the first generation BYD E6 itself. So basically itself, before I show you guys some of the various buttons that you see right here itself, let me just run through with you guys the storage option you get for the vehicle itself. Starting with the glove box itself, you get this one glove box right here itself where you're able to put your stuff in if you want to. There's more storage on that side for the passenger. Same goes for the driver's side. But I think if you notice on the passenger side, right there seems to be a dedicated lock unlocking feature itself. So I think, if I'm not wrong, the passenger could actually lock. If I have to guess, the passenger could actually lock all 4 doors on the vehicle itself, rather than the driver having to lock it or unlock it just under his control. So maybe the passenger is able to do that, which is something unique to this vehicle itself, which you don't see in any other vehicle itself. But moving back to the storage part, you get 2 cup holders right here, and as you guys can see, the cup holders are able to put my plastic bottle right in perfectly. I think if you had a slightly bigger cup, maybe a medium-sized McDonald's cup, I think it's able to put in here nicely as well. You also get another storage space right here if you want to put your drinks or put your stuff. Not drinks. If drinks, probably just bottle drink itself. So if I want to, I can just put this inside, which is no issue at all. Mostly there's no USB or any connection inside this glove box, so you can't really plug any stuff in it itself. So yeah, other than that, that's basically it for the storage part. You get this weird space right here, which if you were to press on it, it does nothing itself. I can't really figure out how do you open up this area itself. So probably this is just a fake storage space itself. So yeah, alright, let's talk about the buttons for the vehicle itself. So first up, you get this electronic handbrake right here. So sorry, not handbrake, electronic parking brake, which you can pull up to engage it, push down forward to disengage it, or if let's say you were to engage drive, right, this just selected right here, which is very cute. It will automatically disengage the handbrake itself, so, or the electronic handbrake itself. So yeah, moving along to the bottom part of the center console itself, you get your, weirdly enough, you get a CD disc or whatever DVD thing. You can insert audio inside. Let's say you want to use the audio entertainment for your music, whatever, you can do so via this CD thing right here. You got aux port right down there. Then moving on top, you got 3 buttons more, some of the buttons right here. So you got odometer and trip function, which basically, if I were to press on odometer itself, just look on the screen right over there itself. So basically it will just cycle trip B, trip A, and odometer, which as you guys can see, the car currently has 75,000 kilometers at the time of filming. And back to trip A itself, which if you want to, you can actually track your mileage on how far you travel itself. To reset the trip A or trip B function, just press and hold on this button right here, and it will reset the trip A or trip B function itself. Next up, we got this discharge function. So I'm not too sure what does this do at all. If I'll guess itself, probably it's a battery discharge or something. I'm not too sure. Probably I have to do more research on that. But if any of you guys know more about this, what does this itself, do drop a comment right down in the comment section below itself. Moving along, you got eco and sports mode. So for this vehicle itself, unfortunately, it does not have a normal mode itself, where unlike, I think the newer the second generation E6 have a normal mode. I can't remember itself, but some EV cars nowadays does has 3 various modes, which is normal, eco, and sports. But for this first generation E6 itself only has eco and sport. So the normal everyday day-to-day driving, you just probably just drive in eco mode itself. So to see whether you're whether in eco or sports, just right on this screen, this thing right at the top, right above your battery percentage itself. So if I were to switch it to that, to sports, it will just switch to sport. And also another indication is this light right there is yeah, right here. It will turn on right here. So to go back, just press on this and you'll just turn it off itself. So yeah, right in the center is just a headlight button, just like that. And you got your instrument gauge brightness right here. So if you want to adjust the brightness of it, you can just press on that. Traction control right here, and your parking sensors itself. So yeah, unfortunately for this vehicle, it does not has a reversing camera because it's a late 2000 vehicle itself, so it doesn't really come with reversing camera. So you got to rely on your mirrors on either side, and also observe your surrounding when reversing this vehicle itself. So yeah, moving along, next up you got your controls. Mainly these 2 rows of controls right here are your AC controls. So basically the top one is to adjust the airflow and the temperature for the front. I think this is for the front and rear defroster right here, which you can adjust by pressing on this. Then this will change. You got auto climate control right here, and this turn on the AC itself. Mode is just to adjust this mode itself right here itself. So yeah, right down below the second row, you got your mirror defrosting and your front ring. I think this is the front and the mirrors itself, the defrosting. You got your rear defrosting right here on top itself. This to recirculate the air in the cabin right here. Control for your fan speed right here, and your temperature right here, and right above it is to turn off the AC itself. Next up will be your gear selector. So you got your gear selector right here. To adjust the gear is just like a second generation Toyota Sienna, which is just full on the brake and just shift down to the drive, shift the side for neutral, and shift all the way up for reverse. And to park is just this P button right here itself. One thing you gotta take note for this gear selector is it won't be like it won't respond fast to the commands, the gear selecting you do. So basically what I'm showing is, basically if I were to select to drive, full on the brake and strike down, it will take it will go to neutral first. And if let's say you want to fully drive, you have to put this down and down, then it will release the handbrake, the electronic parking brake, and also it will go to drive itself. So yeah, so that's one thing you gotta take note. If you do it very quickly, it will just shift to neutral itself. It won't shift to drive immediately itself. So that's one thing you gotta take note. Next up, we got your infotainment, which I won't really go too in depth about it, but I'll just show you guys the basic basic function. So basically, if you just want to adjust your your radio frequency, it's just this 2 tune button right here. Unfortunately, you got to hold on this to make it to always, it's always to keep it like moving on to the frequency. If you just press once, it will just stop at the next frequency itself. So yeah, that's one downside. If you want to mute the audio, you can just press mute, or you can just press the center to turn off the audio completely itself, or the entertainment itself. So yeah, and on top is just your various shortcut keys right here, which I won't really touch too in depth about it. But if you want to know about it, I'll just drop the location for the vehicle in the description box itself. So yeah, last but not least, you got this very nice screen right at the top. So basically, in the center is your speedo. On the left is your I won't say it's your battery percent, because on the right is your battery percentage. On the left is basically how much input you're putting, you're accelerating. So like how much battery is being the motor is producing itself. So yeah, one thing you got to know is there's no ability to adjust the regen function for this vehicle itself. It comes standard with just, I want to say, the weakest regen function. So maybe mode 1, not really, it's just mode 1. So to fully stop the car itself, you got to press the brake pedal itself. You can't really fully rely on the regen itself. So yeah, other than that, you can't really adjust those thing over there itself. Same for this, you can't really see it, you can't really adjust that as well. So yeah, and that's basically that for the screen itself. Moving to the steering wheel, not really much, there isn't really much control you can do other than you got your cruise control buttons right here and this button right here, which doesn't really work at all itself. So yeah, next up you got your wiper controls stops right here. So to adjust the wiper, just go all the way down, so just like that. One tiny arc for one side of the wipers, and you got this stop right here to adjust the rear wipers. So you can see it's doing that. And you got your adjusting of frequency for the front wipers right here itself. So yeah, on the other side is your indicators, switch down or up. Then you got a knob for your headlight switch, your fog light right here, and high beam. To activate it, just push forward itself. So yeah, to flash your high beam, just pull back and you flash the high beam itself. That's basically that itself. Alright, lastly you just got your headlight dimming switch right here and your power button to turn on and turn off the car itself. And that's basically that for controls for on the dashboard for the E6. Last but not least, you got your 4 window switches, which can be wind down from the driver's side. You got this to prevent people from winding down the windows. Your lock and unlock for the car doors, and to adjust the mirror, just flicking the switch to either left or right hand side, so you can adjust the mirrors itself. So yeah. Last but not least, you got sun visor right here, which is somewhat like padded, and you got a mirror, you can see yourself with a very nice light. This also can be swiveled to this side to block the sun coming from this direction. Fortunately, it doesn't really pull out to block this part of the sun itself, so that's the downside. And it could be said for the other side as well. So same thing, got the light, very nice, and this also can be swiveled to that side to block the sun coming from that direction itself. So yeah, and that last but not least, you got your light switch right here. So to turn on the lights for my side, if I want just my side, I can push on spot, press again to turn off. Same goes for the other side itself. And let's say the doors are open, it'll open, the light will turn on when the doors are open itself. So it should, yeah, let me see, start the door, this barrette should, yeah, so just like that itself. So yeah, if not, you can on both, you can press that, off, just that itself. So yeah, and that's basically that for the part. Last but not least, to adjust the steering wheel, is just this lever right down at the bottom right here. Just pull on that and the steering wheel will drop, and you're able to adjust the steering wheel. To adjust the seat is this lever right here, which just pull on that, and you're able to adjust how far or how back you want it for the seat to be. The height of the seat is right here. If I could show you guys that, basically it's right here for the height, and the angle of the seat is, sorry, this is to adjust the angle of the seat itself. There's no adjusting of the height for the seat, unfortunately itself. So yeah, and that's basically it for this video itself. If you guys enjoy the video itself, do click on the subscribe button down right below to see more videos like this, or click subscribe and click some 2 other videos. And with that, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.